Welcome back. I'm joined by Melissa and Karina from Voices of Courage. Ladies, there is a very special week in the month of April. For a couple, actually. It's going to be Crime Victims' Rights Week, and throughout the month of April, there's Sexual Assault Awareness Month and there's Child Abuse Prevention Month. So there's a lot going on in the month of April, but you guys specifically are going to be talking about Crime Victims Week. So before we get into this and all the amazing events that you guys are going to be hosting, let's just hear who Voices of Courage is.
So we're a child advocacy center, which means that we provide free services to children and families who've experienced abuse or trauma. So that can include mental health treatment for children. We do forensic interviews of children when they've made an allegation of abuse. We do prevention education, a whole myriad of services to help families who've been through this type of trauma.
Absolutely, and I mean these are very vulnerable populations that you guys are working for, which is why it's super important for your mission to get some fundraising to help these kids out. So we have a stacked week for Crime Victims' Rights Week. Talk to me a little bit about the events that you guys have going on.
Sure. There's a lot going on Crime Victim Rights Week that other organizations are also doing. These just happen to be the ones that Voices of Courage are sponsoring. So our first one is Chance to Dance, which is Saturday, April the 5th, and that is a fundraiser that's put on by Marla Healer and the Dance Arts Center as a benefit for Voices of Courage. And it is a wonderful, fun night of dance by children of all ages, and it's held at the Missouri Theater at 6 p.m. on April 5th.
And then on April 7th, we have a very special guest. Russ Tuttle is coming to town. He is the founder of the Stop Trafficking Project, and he's putting on a community presentation. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yes, we were excited to get Russ to come back. He helped us out last year with our conference, and he agreed to come back this time and do an evening presentation. So this is open to the public Monday evening at 7 p.m. at Grace Chapel Church, and he's going to be talking to families and parents and concerned citizens about how kids can remain safer online.
Absolutely. So that's April 7th at the Grace Cavalry Chapel. And then also at the chapel, the next day is kind of your guys' big event for the week. It's the Courage Conference. Yes. Tell me about what the Courage Conference is.
So we want to make sure that the people who we work with on a regular basis are trained and taken care of with regard to how we handle cases where child abuse is alleged. So Russ Tuttle is coming back that morning to talk to professionals in the field, so that can include law enforcement, Children's Division, Juvenile Office, prosecutors, school counselors, teachers, anybody who would like to come to this conference and talk to them more about this type of, anybody who works with children. And then in the afternoon, we have Melissa Perry coming, who is from the Soul Yoga Counseling, and she is going to talk about secondary or vicarious trauma and how those of us in the field who work around child abuse and violence, how we absorb that and how we can learn to process that within our own bodies.
Absolutely, which is something that is very, very important for these types of career fields. Even in news, you're dealing with a lot of trauma, yes, and you want to know how to help out these children and process that trauma that you're secondhand receiving. Yes. So that's the day before. It's more of a community event. The April 8th Courage Conference, it's more for people who are in the field. And then we're ending it with a more fun event, a more lighthearted approach to tackling child victims and the crimes that they face. We're having a bingo night. And that is at the Eagles Lodge on the Belt Highway, and we'll open the doors at 6 o'clock, and we'll start calling bingo at 6:30, and it's $15 for 10 games, 10 cards, and then there'll be, I think, a bonus game that you can buy into that's a kind of pick your own numbers sort of a game just for fun. There'll be prizes. We'll get prizes donated, and it's just going to be a fun night. We usually have a really good turnout when we do a bingo night, so we're excited about that. Absolutely, and it's a stacked week, so just pick and choose, find a day that you can be a part of it, and just come out and help. All the money raised goes towards the mission of Voices of Courage and helping these children in our community who are very vulnerable and experiencing some unfathomable traumas. So we just want to help them out, and you guys are doing that on a daily basis. If you want more information, you can go to voicescac.org and register for these events. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.